Hey, it's the Fish Guy. Education is one of the keys to simplicity in aquarium ownership. So today we're here for another reviews and how-tos, simplifying aquarium ownership for you.
Hey, I'm Dan. Today we're going to talk a little bit about fragging. It's important to always choose the right tool when you're going to frag. And today we're going to learn how to use scissors to do it. When you're picking out the tool that you want to make sure that you're not using something that's too big, because then you can smash the delicate flesh of a coral. And you don't want to use something that's too small, like a blade or something like that in this case, because then you could just scrape against the coral and not make a clean cut and damage it as well. Scissors are awesome for a lot of soft corals, things like finger leathers, sinularias, gorgonians. They're great for mushrooms and toadstools as well. Today we're going to show you how to frag using scissors with both a finger leather and also with a mushroom or a toadstool. What you want to do first is set up your space so that you have everything in place right before you're going to actually start to make a cut. So we have here a towel laid down so that when the frag comes off of the mother colony and it lands here, it's a soft landing and it doesn't get hurt. We have on top of that a piece of plastic so that the flesh doesn't grip against the cloth of the towel. And there's a little bit of water from the tank on here just to sort of smooth the landing out a bit. We have got tank water here with our mother colony in it. You want to use water from your tank so that the frag, when it is put back into soak here, that you're not introducing it to new parameters. For example, if you took clean salt water that it wasn't used to, that's just another thing that it has to adjust to. So we're sort of minimizing the stress after the fragging process. The water is treated with Reef Dip, which is an iodine solution that helps with the healing process and also helps with preventing infection after the frag cut is made. We've got our plug here so that we can put the frag onto it and keep it upright after it's been taken off the colony. And we've got IC gel, which is an awesome coral glue, and we'll show you how to use that in a minute. All right, so you want to get your mother colony, and it's best to hold it by the base. This is the area where there's going to be the least amount of polyps, and also it's just generally sturdier as the coral grows. It gets algae and bacteria down growing on there, and the spicules or the skeleton that grows inside of it just becomes thicker there. So holding it by the base is really the safest place to hold the colony while you're going to frag it without damaging it. With finger leathers, you can really kind of cut them anywhere, and a new piece will grow into an entirely new colony pretty quickly. Just for aesthetics, I like to get something that's at least about like an inch big. Once you glue that onto the plug, the glob of glue is going to take over a little bit of the base of that. So if you have something that's too small, it's just not going to look great. So now that we've got a firm grip on it, when you make the cut, you want to make it so that it's a straight cut back and forth like that. Making a diagonal cut like that, while it's not going to hurt the coral or anything like that, it is going to make it harder to plug it. So having a flat, straight cut is going to make it easier to press that piece against the frag plug. So go there, make a clean cut. It falls gently on our padded surface here. The mother colony can go back into the solution of Reef Dip so that cut can heal. And then you can take your frag plug, and we'll actually put the frag in there while we're doing this. You can take your glue and put a glob on there. You want to put a little bit more than you think you actually need. Like the size of like a big fat pea is good. And take your frag and you want to push it against that, and you want to sort of wiggle it a little bit so that the glue gets all over the base there, and then dunk it into the water. And what that does is that starts the curing process. All right, so you want to hold it there after you've dipped it, and make sure that you're doing that until the coral stops leaning when you let go of it. If it does, you can actually dip it again, give it a tiny bit of a wiggle, and that'll actually make the water get into the moist glue underneath and start to cure that as well. It should only take about 30 seconds to a minute. Once it is holding itself up like that, you can sit it into the water. We have a frag rack set up here, or a little bit of egg crate, so that it stays upright. And give it another minute or two in there, and then the glue will fully cure. Once you've done that, the coral is then pretty much ready to go back into your display tank or your frag tank. And then give your mother colony about 15 to 20 minutes or so in this solution here so that it can heal, and then that can go back in your tank as well. So scissors are also great for fragging things like Toadstools, and this is a crown leather actually, but it pretty much works the same way. These are another one that's really, really easy to frag. You can pretty much cut off any sort of piece of this and it'll start to grow into a new frag. To have the best success, I like to frag off pieces where they've already started to pinch. So if you look at that there, where two edges have started to meet sort of, eventually the coral will frag itself and that will bud off and turn into another piece. But if you want to expedite the process, create a new frag of your own, you can cut it right there. Personally, just for aesthetics, I like to make, rather than just a straight cut like that, I like to round a cut. This will do two things. One, it'll make the mother colony not look as funky when you're done cutting it, and then your frag too. So if you make a sharp edge cut, while it will grow over that and eventually round off, it's still going to keep that shape in general. So making a rounded sort of edge when you make the cut will make it look more natural as it starts to grow back into its natural shape. So take an edge there. And we'll sort of make a curve as we cut. Plop safely down there. And so we have an open cut there on our mother colony. We're going to want to put it back into the reef iodine solution just like we did with the last coral, so that it can soak there for about 15-20 minutes and help that cut heal. With this piece, you could put it onto a frag plug however you want. You could put it flat like this. All the polyps on the bottom will sort of fade out because they're not getting light. The rest of it will grow fine. I usually like to cover up the cut with glue because then that's the area that's most prone to infection. So if you frag it with the glue on that section, that sort of seals up the cut and makes it for a better success rate. So just like before, we want to get that curing. Hold it for a minute. It's still leaning a little bit when I let go, so we'll give it a little wiggle in there. Get that glue really curing. And now it stands up on its own. We'll let it sit for a little bit in the solution, and then we'll put it in our display tank. Now that you've fragged your corals, be sure to wash your tools in fresh water before you put them back into your kit, because if you leave them in salty water, they're going to rust real quick. And then make sure to keep an eye on the corals, both the mother colony and the frag, for a little while after you frag. They are going to definitely experience some stress after this for a bit. The polyps may stay closed for a few days, and the corals may actually cease growth, and this can last up to a few weeks. It's nothing to be concerned about. It's just the coral putting its energy into the healing process rather than the growth process. And after a little while, that's going to go away. If you do notice any sort of signs of distress or health issues, things like changing coloration on the areas near the cut, or necrosis, like the flesh falling off, you would want to start dipping both the mother colony and the frag to prevent bacterial infection in that dip once a day, and keep doing it until it's entirely gone, and then for 2 days after too. Fragging corals is an awesome, sustainable way to reduce the pressure of harvesting corals from the wild. You can make your own, you can grow them out, trade them with your friends, or sell them.
Check out our YouTube channel at YouTube/FishGuyTV. Give us a call at 877-FISH-TALK, or drop us a line at support@somethingfishyinc.com. We look forward to connecting with you.